Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Donnie here, and I'm here with another video. This one's gonna be a little different than my previous videos, and all my videos beforehand have been part of my classic TV and movie spotlight series. So if you can notice by the title, this one's a little different, but it does involve television and movies. It's kind of a combined one, and it was a topic that I found interesting and wanted to explore a little more. It's no secret that I'm a big fan of television and movies, and I do like books. I do like to read, but I kind of like TV and movies just a little bit more. And one thing that I really have always found interesting about movies and television is the visual aspect, and there's so many things that you know filmmakers can do to help tell the story, because TV shows and movies, they have stories to tell, and it's fascinating, and there's many different avenues that they can utilize other than the written word to um, convey the story, to lay out the plot. And I just found it incredibly intriguing. Uh, because there's all these different elements that go into the filmmaking process. In addition to the writing, the directing, the acting, there's the sound, you have the cinematography, you have the sets, the makeup, all these different things, and these aspects have kind of been viewed as you know just technical aspects, and just these kind of necessary things that you need to make a film or TV show. But, in my opinion, I think they can be, a part of the creative process. They can be a part, an essential part of storytelling, and they're more than just technical things that need to be done. There's more than just the mechanisms of it all, that they are a part of the plot and a part of advancing the narrative forward. So I'm going to focus in on one of them, and that would be the costumes. Now, I will have a little warning ahead of time. I am not a fashion expert whatsoever. I have no clue. I really have no clue about what fashion is or anything. So I'm not gonna get into the technical details of costumes, but I just want to focus on the broader picture and how costumes can help, tell the story, advance the plot of the film or TV show. And let's think about it this way: when you're watching a movie or a show, what do the costumes tell us? Costumes can give us a lot of information, and there's just a couple things. It can tell you when the movie or show takes place, what time period. You know, you is it a contemporary modern day show, or an old historical piece? And it's kind of all over. So the costumes, have great clues of that for that. It can tell you where it takes place. Say if you have a movie that takes place on a farm in Nebraska, or one on the busy streets of New York, or one in Japan, they're all going to have vastly different costumes. I can tell you what time of the year it takes place. If you see characters all bundled up in sweaters and coats and scarves and gloves, well, it probably doesn't take place in the summer. Conversely, if you see people wearing, bikinis and swim trunks and tank tops and shorts, they're probably not getting ready for Christmas. So, these are just a couple of the different things, very obvious clues with it. The costumes can really tell you a lot about the character and the personality of the characters. What's the cliched phrase that's always thrown around where they say like the clothes make the man or something. The costumes they can tell you, a lot about who's wearing them. A couple examples that can tell you about the financial status of the character. If you have a couple wearing, a tuxedo and a gorgeous ball gown with a fancy jewelry, you're gonna assume that they have a lot of money. Conversely, if you have a guy wearing a shirt and jeans with jeans with holes in them, and dirty and dirt all over them, and grease stains and sweat stains and holes in his shirt, he's probably not a CEO. Or it may be subverted here, where the couple and the dressed to the nines is really don't have a lot of money and they're trying to pretend that they do. Or the guy in the ready clothes is really rich, but he's trying to pretend he's not, and that's the plot to a bunch of different Hallmark Channel movies where the rich guy says, "I just want her to love me for who I really am, not my money." So, but I digress. Um, it can tell you a lot about their personality, the characters' personalities. Um, a humorous character, the comic relief, may be dressed, goofy and maybe not, have clothes that match or something, or anything. You may have a character who's a hipster who's wearing all vintage clothes. It can just tell, or dressed ironically, whatever. It can just give you a lot of information. Um, there was a movie a couple years ago called Best in Show. It was about a fictional national dog show, and there were two couples. One was a couple, two gay men, and the other was two lesbian women. And it was interesting how their costumes in this movie were of these two couples reflected their personalities, because both of these couples had one partner who was very flamboyant and over the top personality, and the other one is more subdued and conservative, and it reflected in their dressings. The flamboyant characters that like the guy wore flashy like silk shirts, and the woman wore ball gowns and a tiara, and their partners were where the guy always wore a sweater vest and the woman wears a pantsuit. So it can really can tell you a lot about the character. In the movie Animal House, John Belushi's character Bluto is dressed very slovenly and sloppy and everything, is certainly reflected that in his character. And particularly with him and his other fraternity members, but him more so. And the other frat, the high class frat, they're all dressed very nice and dignified, and that's to show that they're in upper class fraternity to some sort. Um, some other examples with costumes. It was a funny little joke. There was a show in the 80s called Too Close for Comfort. It started Ted Knight, who you may know from Mary Tyler Moore Show and Caddyshack. And a common running joke was he would always wear sweatshirts of different colleges. And in fact, it became so popular that college students would frequently send him a sweatshirt from their particular school, and hoping that he would wear it on the show. He would wear it on the show. So, just another way that the clothing can reflect the character. You certainly see, like in TV shows, a lot of characters wear the same things over and over and over again, and I just find it very interesting. Um, Another point. Uh, some more information you can find out from the costumes is the what a character does for a living. Say you have a character who's a mail carrier. Instead of letting the audience know that's what his job is, and you know, you could put a line in saying, him at the breakfast table saying, "Oh, those letters and bills aren't gonna deliver themselves." This would be like a hokey line. Instead, show him in his post office uniform, and instantly the audience will likely identify it and know exactly what he does for a living. And you can, so you don't really have to explain much. It's kind of show and tell show and tell for the audience. And you know and you can get on to the more you know essential parts of the narrative. So I just found it very interesting how things like this can help tell the story. And um, I've learned about screenwriting in school, and it's just interesting how you can use these other elements to help tell your story. So that's about it. I'm gonna be wrapping up this video. So let me know what you think about the video. Comment on it, and hit me with the like, subscribe, and until next time, take it easy.